Welcome back to the call. I'm Phil LeBeau with breaking news. Fresh data from the General Aviation Manufacturers Association about just how much demand for general aircraft, including business jets, have dropped in the last year. Check out the data coming from GAMA, which is the General Aviation Manufacturers Association. There you see all of the aircraft down in the last year in terms of deliveries. Pistons, not a surprise because the recreational buyer is pulling back. Total drop 42%. Let's focus, however, on business jets. Now, plane billings in 2009 for the entire general aviation market down 21%, and for the first time ever, more than 50% of the planes that were shipped out of the United States were shipped outside of North America to customers outside the U.S. As for the business jet market, well, inventories for business jets is starting to fall. So that's some encouraging news there, which means that there are some people starting to get back into the market. The hours that the planes are flown, that's also increasing. Two indications, according to the people in charge of GAMA, that things are improving.
I think they're still being very cautious, but it also depends on how they're using the business jet. If this is a company that's doing a lot of global business and a lot of travel, whether it's over to Asia, South America, or over to Europe, they're finding that the utility of business aviation is something they just have to have.
Take a look at shares of Textron over the last year. Remember, Textron owns Cessna, so Cessna is only a part of Textron. It doesn't explain all of the improvement in the stock here, but there is some people, Trish, there are some people who look at the business jet market and they believe we've seen the bottom and things are going to start to improve from here, especially when you look at the number of hours those aircraft are already out in the market. The number that they're being flown is increasing, so the demand should start to pick up more.
That's some encouraging news. Certainly this data is very symptomatic of a tough economy, and we know that it's very cyclical. Back to what you were saying about some of the foreign players. You mentioned that some other countries, that some other foreign airlines, rather, are more involved in the process right now. They're buying more?
Yeah, you're talking about the foreign companies. We're not talking about the airlines as much as we're talking about individual businesses buying business jets, individuals who have a better personal financial situation overseas. They're buying the pistons and the turboprops.
And what's fueling that? Just more optimism, you think, overseas?
More optimism and certainly a better economic environment, particularly in Asia. I mean, they're noticing real increase in Asia in terms of demand, and that's reflective of what we're seeing here.
Phil, are you seeing like a structural change in the business jet market? I mean, it's not like executives are going to stop flying privately, because for a lot of executives, it's a necessity.
Right.
So are they not buying jets, but rather they're more prone to buying hours on a card? I mean, is there a structural change in the way they're doing it, or do you think it'll just pick up in the same fashion that it had been in the past?
Yeah, Melissa, it's a boom and bust industry, and the cycle is pretty similar to what we've seen in the past. I mean, clearly, your smaller entrepreneurs, your smaller companies, they're using those fractional ownerships.
Yeah.
But overall, it's boom and bust.
Wouldn't it be good if our top officials in Washington stopped bashing the use of private business jets? Wouldn't that be helpful?
Would that be helpful to the business, Phil?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Anytime a company, anytime any industry feels pressure, it's not good for that industry.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it true also that it's really middle-level corporate guys that use these jets, going from Peoria to Ann Arbor? I mean, it's not just about fat cats.
Correct.
It's about business efficiency.
Or companies that are moving a whole group.
That is
you
correct.
have 10 people that are going to the same place.
Wouldn't it be nice if Washington understood that?
Well, obviously, but it's an easy thing to take a shot at a company and say, well, you're flying around on a private jet and not look at it as a tool.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil LeBeau. All right, let's get everyone really briefly caught up on these markets here.